This evening, Broad Street squatters shared mixed views over relocation plan. Minister Norton conducts walkabout exercise. GWI to install distribution network for Brazilian drilled wells. AFC fears voter disenfranchisement. In the region, U.S. sends aid to Colombia while Maduro rejects help. And officer-involved shooting in Jamaica sparked. And 12th, discoveries offshore Guyana. The discoveries were made at the Tilapia 1 and Haimara wells in the southwest section of the Stabroek Block. The Tilapia 1 encountered approximately 305 feet of high-quality oil-bearing sandstone reservoir and was drilled to a depth of 18,786 feet in 5,850 feet of water. Haimara 1 well encountered approximately 207 feet of high-quality gas condensate-bearing sandstone reservoir. The well was drilled to a depth of 18,289 feet in 4,590 feet of water. Dr. Bino noted, too, that there is potential for at least 5 floating production, storage, and offloading vessels on the Stabroek Block, producing more than 750,000 barrels of oil daily by 2025. Several government ministers are currently conducting walkabout exercises in communities around the country. Most recently, Minister of Social Cohesion Dr. George Norton visited Regions 2 and 7. Here's more. Over the past few days, Minister of Social Cohesion, Culture, Youth, and Sport Dr. George Norton interacted with residents of Bartica, Region 7, as well as villages along the Essequibo coast, including Henrietta and Charity. During his visit, Minister Norton sought to conduct a walkabout exercise to engage residents on matters pertaining to the welfare and development of their respective communities. For almost every complaint received, Minister Norton consulted the relevant officials to have them addressed. During these meetings, Minister Norton reminded every person of the role they must play in helping to secure an even brighter future, saying, quote, "Even if we don't see eye to eye politically, or we don't look the same, or believe in the same things, we must always remain respectful of each other. That is the only way we can succeed if we live and love in harmony." Dr. Norton is just one of several government ministers conducting walkabouts in communities around the nation. Residents of Deep South Rupununi will now have continuous access to potable water following the signing of agreements between GWI and village councils for the installation of distribution networks in 6 villages. Bibi Bacchus has more.
The Guyana Water Incorporated is in the process of giving residents of Deep South Rupununi, Region 9, continuous access to potable water. This follows the signing of agreements between GWI and village councils for the installation of distribution networks. These networks are to be connected to their existing community wells and more specifically, those recently drilled by the Brazilian Army in collaboration with the Guyana government. The newly drilled wells are expected to alleviate the struggles faced during the dry seasons, which typically last from October to March. As part of the agreements per village, community members will be employed to conduct the works under the directives of GWI. Agreements were signed with village councils of 6 villages. The agreements mark the first phase of this process of ensuring an adequate supply from the wells to the villages being served. GWI will be providing the pipes, fittings, and other materials necessary to complete the task assigned. Works are expected to be completed 2 weeks from the date of the contract signing. Headline News, Bibi Bacchus.
Thanks, Bibi. Around 3 this morning, Michelle Sherlin of Georgetown was awakened by the sound of barking dogs. She discovered the back door of her house open and saw 2 persons fleeing the yard. Sherlin alerted a police mobile patrol which was in the area and they gave chase. One of the suspected perpetrators managed to escape the lawman while his accomplice tried to disarm one of the ranks of his service weapon. The suspect was shot once in the right thigh in the process. The wounded suspect, who resides in Charleston, is currently being treated at the Georgetown area hospital under guard. He is in a stable condition. Fortunately for Sherlin, the remaining suspect ran off empty-handed. However, an investigation is in progress. Don't go away, coming up after the break. Broad Street squatters share mixed views over relocation plan, and Alliance for Change fears voter disenfranchisement. But first, here are today's foreign currency exchange rates. For the latest in news from Guyana, the region, and beyond, visit our website, headlinenewsguyana.com.
Hello, baby. Yeah.
It's knocked away from Young Huang.
Yo, why you gotta get away from your credit, buddy? I recommend that you from blah blah. Let me actually gain. But it's not you that buy back the credit when it's done. Buy back because she money from Fab 5.
Activate the GTT Fab 5 plan today. For only $5,005, you get free unlimited calls to 4 of your closest family and friends, 5 gigs of data plus 250 text messages, and your Fab 5 friends can call you for free. GTT Fab 5.
Wait. So who we putting as we Fab 5? Yours.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's for dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go. Welcome back. This morning was a hot one, and it has nothing to do with the weather. We've received reports of 2 vehicle fires occurring around the same time in Georgetown. Shortly before 9 a.m., a Toyota car was found engulfed in flames at the corner of Brick Dam and Avenue of the Republic. Firefighters from the nearby station at Starbrook Market quickly doused the flames. And on the other side of town, a Guyana Power and Light contracted minibus reportedly burst into flames around the same time on Sheriff Street. The incident occurred just as the bus crossed the traffic light at David and Sheriff Streets, heading north towards the East Coast Demerara Highway. The driver of the minibus said he and his supervisor observed the smoke emanating from the driver's seat. They were able to safely escape the vehicle, which was quickly extinguished by firefighters. It is believed that the fires were not connected in any way. Nonetheless, an investigation into the cause of both fires is in progress. Recently, opposition leader Bara Jagdeo expressed support for continuous voter registration to allow persons to register before the upcoming elections. However, the women's arm for the Alliance for Change fears that this may disenfranchise a large number of persons. Wendell Jeffrey tells us more in this report.
Your question relates to continuous registration. The Women for Change would not endorse such a call. Sorry, if GCOM decides that is what we will do, we will respect. But we do not encourage, we do not condone, we do not side with the call of Mr. Jagdeo for continuous registration only for persons who have not been previously registered.
Cynthia Rutherford, the Woman for Change representative for the Alliance for Change, was speaking at a press conference at their headquarters in Kitty today. She was responding to a question from Channel 2 Headline News as it relates to the PPP's willingness to facilitate continuous registration to facilitate the young new voters. Opposition leader Bara Jagdeo had said at one of his press conferences that he would grudgingly allow for continuous registration to allow those eligible to register to do so. However, the youth arm and the Women for Change arm of the AFC said that they would not agree to that because many persons are likely to be disenfranchised if that happens.
Guyana is very huge in terms of land size. We all know this. Persons often move from the hinterland regions or other regions to the coast.
The Youth for Change Secretary, Kenny Valandaires, is of the opinion that the PPP does not want the young people to vote in an election that depends on them.
The political opposition doesn't see it important that young people are afforded the right to vote at the very elections being carried in their name and with their sweat. We as young people are tired of lip service, that we are the future, and we demand our voice in the present and upcoming elections.
Rutherford said that if those who have moved are not re-registered, it will likely force them to not vote.
Without then allowing for those persons to change their registration, then you will be forcing them on election day to travel who knows how far, and who knows the cost and other significant factors that might hinder them from not returning home to vote. So they will stay on the coast and they will not get the opportunity to vote and to participate in something that is their democratic rights.
The Woman for Change rep said that they are joining with the AFC in calling for an entire process of re-registering every single possible eligible voter.
The Women for Change would call for door-to-door registration for a period of claims and objections to accommodate everyone in Guyana.
For Channel 2 Headline News, Wendell Jeffrey.
Thanks, Wendell. The Central Housing and Planning Authority is currently planning to rehouse the residents of the Broad Street squatting area. While many of them are appreciative for the offer, some are not as excited. Esther Sobers visited the community and filed this report.
Last evening, Headline News previously reported that the Central Housing and Planning Authority intends to move the Lombard and Broad Street squatters to Prospect, East Magdanara, or Cummins Lodge in the coming months. The residents, some of whom have been living in the area for over 20 years, expressed mixed views on the pronouncement.
On behalf of my time living, we keep living, and we're glad that, now at this time the government could be able to come forth and do something for us, making us a little bit more comfortable. We're thankful towards that. They say they will be locating some of us at Prospect and some at Cummins Lodge. We're thankful for that, and we're still waiting. They say, just keep our finger crossed, soon things will be happening, and we're glad for that.
How long we should have moved out? It's only because we poor people make we couldn't come out and go somewhere else, So we have to wait until a miracle happens,
As previously reported, it has been almost 2 years since the CHMPA had first promised to relocate the squatters to an adequate housing environment. Because of this and other reasons, some of the squatters are suspicious of the action and dismiss it as a political gimmick to garner votes.
You know, when this government was a change, rain and sun, whether rain and sun, we stand up in the rain and the sun. But I think next time, rain and sun be there, left and be my husband part. All the make a left without a husband now. Anyway, I ain't care. Rain and sun all over, even when Kwame went there, he said, I carry y'all home and let me deal with them, because no one can dead. That is the word we tell. When he bring me home, put me in Broad Street, and we go about with cooking and all kind of thing. Every morning before 8 o'clock, we up on the road behind Granger. And what we get? What we get?
So you think this is a, by elections maybe upcoming, you think this is a political move?
I know, but me voting back because me ain't getting nothing.
I heard everybody saying like something like this, you know, that they can find place for us quick, like, you know, because they can get voting. But I don't mind, I want them movie out.
Meanwhile, it was disclosed at a meeting between the squatters and the CHMPA that over 40 families who are currently living in the area will be selected by a lottery that will be held in March, while the remainder are expected to be housed in Cummins Lodge. For Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away. Coming up after the break. U.S. sends aid to Colombia while Maduro rejects help. And officer-involved shooting in Jamaica sparks public outcry. But before that, here's this week's bridge retraction schedule.
Place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Switch over to GTT right? No. Because all this time and money I waste on a cars alone. Can just send up my blood pressure.
You've come to the right place.
Really?
Once you're switched over with our network, you can activate our Fab 5 plan. With our Fab 5 plan, you can enjoy free unlimited calls with 4 family and friends.
You got to be kidding me.
You will also get 5 gigabytes of data with 250 text messages.
You got to be kidding me.
And your chosen 4 can also call you for free.
You got to be kidding me.
Activate the GTT Fab 5 plan today. For only 5,005, you get free unlimited calls to 4 of your closest family and friends, 5 gigs of data plus 250 text messages, and your Fab 5 friends can call you for free. GTT Fab 5.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news from the region. Venezuelan opposition politicians are in Colombia preparing for the transfer of aid and supplies from the U.S. Trucks were sent after a request for help by the self-declared interim president Juan Guaido. But it's unclear if the military forces who remain loyal to President Nicolas Maduro will allow the aid into the country. Al Jazeera's Teresa Bow has more from Caracas.
Employees at this maternity hospital in the capital Caracas say they are in desperate need of aid. They say their hospital urgently needs basic medicines and medical equipment. They say the Venezuelan government shouldn't get in the way of international aid entering the country.
This hospital had the best doctors, the best nurses, the best of everything, and now we are seeing a complete deterioration, with shortages of medicine, food for patients, and cleaning products.
The self-declared interim president Juan Guaido says the presidency of Nicolás Maduro is illegitimate. He's pushing for legislation in the opposition-controlled National Assembly to be passed to remove the roadblocks on humanitarian aid.
Members of the National Assembly say that they would like to create a humanitarian corridor composed of NGOs, religious groups and doctors that will allow the aid to reach those who need it the most. But it won't be easy because the government of Nicolás Maduro says that the humanitarian aid is a political show by the opposition that will allow the United States to intervene in the country.
Miguel Pizarro is in charge of coordinating the push for aid in the National Assembly. He says Nicolás Maduro is wrong.
It is not only the United States that is involved, it is the Lima Group that met in Canada. Nobody can say Justin Trudeau is the extreme right or Pedro Sanchez in Spain. I want to send a message to the world. Venezuela's constitutional order is broken. We won legislative elections and they took power away from us. We asked for a referendum and they did not want it. They do not want to get out of power. What we are offering is not a liberation army, just the ability to choose our future in a new election.
In the same building, but in another room, met the rival Constituent Assembly, the legislative body created by the Maduro government 2 years ago to redraft the constitution. Now, it is proposing to call for legislative elections to replace the opposition-controlled parliament, whose mandate expires next year.
The opposition wants elections so we could call for legislative elections because Parliament is controlled by the extreme right that's staging a coup. They are the only power that has not been revalidated recently.
And that sentiment was shared by supporters of Nicolás Maduro, who surrounded the National Assembly building during the session.
If Juan Guaido wants a chair, then he can buy it at a store, because here no one will allow him to sit on the presidential seat.
A political crisis where nobody really knows how or when it is going to end. Teresa Bow, Al Jazeera, Caracas.
And also happening in the region, chaos broke out in the streets after police shot and injured a man after having an altercation in a crowded street in Jamaica. Here's TVJ's Primetime News with more.
Police, the army, fire personnel and Indicom all descended on the town of Spalding, Manchester Tuesday morning as if some major operation had been called. But it's the police shooting of one man, a bus driver known as Short Boss, that has everyone here on edge. Videos being circulated on social media capture from different angles the moments just before pandemonium erupted in the town. It's about 9 o'clock Tuesday morning. The well-known coaster bus driver, Short Boss, is doing his usual drop-off of students to Knox College and Spalding High School when two policemen stopped him and reportedly asked to see his documents. An alleged eyewitness who did not want to speak on camera tells what happened next.
After him show him the paper, him tell him say I'm a fee bus. Him say yes, I'm my bus. Why you go tell me I'm show you the paper? Him take out one pepper spray, say I'm go pepper spray right at the left front window. One lady come and start preaching and say the blood of Jesus is against you. The man no do nothing wrong.
What started out as an apparent conversation between the driver and one of the policemen in no time turned physical. Bystanders shouting their outrage at the situation as a wrecker is called to remove the bus. Moments later, shouts turned to screams after this. A gunshot from the policeman's service pistol, followed by gunshot number 2. Then Spalding descends into chaos. People claim police brutality and are demanding justice for Short Boss.
The man coming in bus this morning. I just one passenger extra and he beg him, please, just give me a chance. You pick them later on go to school. Is he alright? Come out of the bus, and the man come out of the bus. And he said turn off the bus, and when he turn off, when he switch off the engine, he grab up the man back way. And because he grab up the man back way, the officer grab him gun and shoot him.
From another camera angle, the bus driver is still standing after the first 2 shots. But by gunshot number 3, he goes down. By this time, both policemen are standing over the apparently injured man grimacing on the ground. The crowd moves in and TVJ News understands the police eventually retreat, seeking refuge at a nearby establishment. We're told members of the Jamaica Defense Force helped get them safely from the area. Persons then rushed in and moved to get the fallen man to hospital. On video footage recorded from an upstairs building, it was clear to see that the people's anger spilt over. No police in the service vehicle, but others later rushed onto the scene. Businesses had to close early despite security forces quickly arriving to keep things from escalating further. The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, says by the end of the day it should receive verbal accounts of what happened from the policemen involved and written statements and possible interviews from them by tomorrow. It says despite video evidence, it will also need those who made recordings to come forward as witnesses. But from what's being circulated so far, INDECOM says the policeman was aggressively assaulted while conducting his lawful duty. However, INDECOM says it needs further details about how the policeman's gun was discharged, as well as the bus driver's version of the incident. Meanwhile, TVJ News understands the bus driver underwent surgery and is now in stable condition. Krista Campbell, TVJ News.
Here's the 3-day weather forecast. And that's Channel 2 Headline News for this Wednesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Channel 2 Headline News on Facebook, YouTube, and our website headlinenewsguyana.com. You can also tune in 6:30 tomorrow morning for a rebroadcast and Thursday evening at 7 for more news. For now, I'm George Gonzalez, signing out from your newscast, saying thank you for welcoming us into your home and do have a blessed evening.